are your commentators for the first ever regional of the 2025 competitive season for the UniVersus CCG. Tam, how are you doing today?
I could not be more excited. I am so happy to be casting in person for the premier event of the Critical Role Heroes of Alexandria format. It is probably my favorite set from the last, I don't know, 6 sets. I'm really happy with these cards, and I'm really excited to see what these players have brought for us to watch and commentate today. It's gonna be awesome.
I actually know exactly how excited you are. I know how excited you are, Tam, because I know how much of a big Critical Role fan you are. And to kick off the 2025 competitive season, I actually got you a gift. I know how big of a Jester Lavore fan you are, and they came out with these brand new sleeves from UVS Games, and
Holy
so I got you
cow!
some Jester decks to kick things off over here. But that being said, we have a game already ready to go for you guys. We have your current reigning world champion, Kevin Broberg, piloting one of those cool new Critical Role characters, Tyrion Darrington. And then on top of that, we also have
Yes.
one of your champion cards that is now legal in Standard.
Yeah, this is going to be a true battle of titans. I think both of these characters are characters first are very high up in the metagame of what people were expecting to see at this event, as well as the players themselves are juggernauts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Calvin Harrigal with multiple top cuts, also made a Worlds appearance. But of course, Kevin Broberg being your current reigning champion, not only winning year one of the My Hero Hero League Championship that we had, but then also just winning last month. And here he is already on the first regional of the year, kicking things off with a brand new deck. And for everybody at home, this is actually he's actually never played this deck. He built this today. So we're going to see some true Kevin Broberg magic and watch a true master of UniVersus play and having almost zero background on playing the deck.
It's almost like Kevin won the world championship and was like, I need to handicap myself for the good of the community. But Wub coming in, solid build 4 here, failing this haughty, which I saw this card in the League of Villains anniversary collection.
Yeah.
Boy howdy, I don't remember what this card
I
does.
don't know what it is either.
It wasn't built, so we're gonna wait for the next couple games to see what happens. But already these players are surprising me with the choices that they've made.
Yeah, big key pieces here. I'm actually excited because with you, I'm excited to talk about a lot of these new Critical Role cards that we have, not just with the characters, and such as the things like Cabal's Ruin, one of these Vestige Ultra Rares. We've already
Yes.
seen on the side of Kevin, side of the stage, and this card is going to be very good for back swinging damage later on, while also having a repeatable speed hate piece. But of course, Kevin winning the die roll going first, and we're going straight into his turn 2 as we kick things off with another Critical Role Ultra Rare, Inventor's Creation.
Yeah.
Response after you play this attack, you are allowed to remove an attack from your discard pile, and this will gain all keywords and all keyword ratings. Of course, we looks like we go ahead and don't remove anything, and we're just going to take this one straight to the dome as Calvin takes 4, going down to 29.
Yeah, very cool, very innocuous move until you have a discard pile full of really optimized targets, which as we're checking a bunch of attacks, it's the card's only going to get better and better and better. And I think the most important thing that happened here is that this Inventor's Creation was not contested. It dealt damage, and so now Terry has a momentum, which means, hey, he can start artificing his way into even better and cooler assets. But Nick Reagan kind of taking a turn off here.
It makes sense, though, as we see one of those showcase new 3 difficulty cards coming out in Calvin's deck. Science Bros has hit the table, Tamron. And Science Bros is going to really accelerate a lot of the extra bonus stats that Nick Reagan is already very good at doing as a character card. It triggers every time you remove something. It also lets you draw a card when you're basically done removing cards for the turn. This also works on defense, of course, and Nick Reagan does have an enhance that is played on both sides. But just like you said, taking a turn off, Kevin Broberg going to go, I think, and kick things off again. He loves this card. We have a ready shot that we saw this
Yes.
very much be in success at the World Championships for him. And Blitz, we're going to pick up a one div from our discard pile.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the reason that Kevin got sold on the Darian deck. He's like, oh, I can play Ready Shot. I'm in. I don't have to read the rest of the deck. I know what this one does.
It's almost like another once per turn of the Tarian, right?
Good
Go
point.
grab another one div asset that we're going to build after we're done attacking with this Ready Shot while also building one during the Ready Shot. I love that. I love this. This is great.
Yeah, combine that with the Lowers Dex card of a symmetrical draw. Flip, we both draw. Brings us back a bit of a throwback to Chivalrous Competitor, a card that's now rotated as of the Heroes of Xandria set comes out. Very cool to see cards and abilities like that still inside the metagame. But it looks like there's another uncontested 4 damage move as Nick Reagan drops down to 25.
Yeah, 25. But this is going to be the big turn for Calvin here, piloting this Nick Reagan deck. We have a very healthy stage. Now it is just about how many attack cards we have as we kick things off with a Death from Above. This is the alt art of it. Essentially, it's a high 6 difficulty attack as we check a 6 on it. And this is going to give us a bonus remove as we go ahead and rip 8 cards from the top of our deck with Nick Reagan. And we are allowed to play any attacks, and any one of the attacks that we removed for this as an enhance as our next enhance. You don't have to pick which one. You don't have to declare it right away. But as we go ahead and get the removals, we're going to get 1-1 from the Science Bros, and then we're also going to get the 2-2 from Nick Reagan. And I think we might have whiffed.
I think that's what I saw. I think we whiffed. We removed 8 cards off the top of the deck, and not a single one of them was an attack card.
I mean, Tam, would you be surprised if I told you this was a 116 card deck? And so the chances of you missing actually kind of does exist, right?
That's fair. That's fair. But I think the real power of this card is not necessarily in the, what can I remove off the top? This card asks you to have 8 removed cards in order to draw 2 bonus.
Absolutely.
Hey, we did it.
Yep.
Our first attack of the game. We are rock solid. We are ready to roll. The engine is now online. Nick Reagan, his detriment of being a 5-hander is now completely mitigated.
Yeah.
Of a singular attack.
We're also only 2 more cards away from getting these Ignites and our Firestarter in our stage live for the taking. This card also has another enhance on it, of course. We could have removed another attack from our discard pile to give this damage equal to the removed attack's damage, which would
8 more than I expected this Nick Reagan to have. And so from here, it really is going to, the onus is on Kevin to survive and find this chip damage and make Calvin and Nick respect what this Tarian deck can do.
If there's any character that can do very good chain blocking, I do think it is a character like Tarian, right? Your assets turn into speed hate. We have a card like Item Box in our stage for resetting. Potato also coming in for free. The repeatable speed hate, all the Cabal's Ruin, like we said. There is a world where you can get there, but I think with how big Calvin's stage is, a suited up coming into stage, even more minus speed as we can turn this sideways for -4, and then all of your 1-div assets actually say -2 speed instead of -1 speed. I think there's a world where Kevin can pull it off, but wow, this stage is so intimidating on Calvin's side. If he draws any amount of attacks, I think we might be dead here.
Yeah, that is absolutely, especially opening with a Patchwork Baby, huge card. Has an inherent stun too. Has EX and powerful that we've got the momentum for from our last attack this turn, and it looks like we are using a hacker to flip one of these assets. We have the ability on Nick's side to fight what this Tarian is doing. Get rid of the best asset on the board.
VME was the choice.
Yes, makes sense. I mean, we've taken 4 damage attacks. Converting those into -3 speed, change the zone to perfect block is just going to exacerbate that defensive play that Tarian has access to. And I think Calvin is looking to end the game on this turn.
Yeah, I think so, especially with this lead. We haven't even ripped the 8 off the top with the Nick Reagan enhance either, so we don't even know what extra moves we might be getting. We're getting a Fierce Wings response here on the side of Tarian.
After a card is committed,
just hand response, no check necessary. You remove it, and you selectively build something from your discard pile.
Another piece of speed hate, minus speed with this Aaron sidestep. If it's completely blocked, redraw. Wish we would have had that VME to guarantee that full block, but, apparently Kevin's got a plan.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use the Tarian Enhance where we commit this suited up to give -3 speed, but now since your suited up is committed, once per enhanced step, a speed modification can either get +1 or -1 bonus on top of it as we rip 8 from the top, one of which has a blitz, so we don't have to worry about that one.
And we've got a true 100%.
Oh, for
removed.
sure. Then that'll
Yeah,
be a good one.
that's just the target, guys. You're gonna watch the speed and the damage of this move skyrocket.
Yeah. We also ripped a supersonic flight off the top, which is draw 1, which also then again with Nick Reagan combined, we were actually giving 3/3 now with these Science Bros procs as well.
Yeah, this is going to be one heck of a attack if this True 100 gets selected, and it looks like that is what we're counting her out now. True 100, of course, as it's not on the screen, says it gets a speed for every readied one of your foundations, and then a damage for any foundation your rival has in their stage. Pretty convenient that we built to 13 last turn, right?
Yeah,
Barrett?
without being able to see the speed on this one, based off of the dice, I think we've got ourselves a whopping 15 mid for 12 right now.
That's what I'm counting as well. But an item box is going to drop us all the way back down. I mean,
perfect play.
The point of this attack, I think, was to scare that item box.
Yeah.
Bear, this is the first attack of the turn.
Yeah, and
we've got so many cards in our hand.
And again, the reward also for Nick Reagan is that all just came from ripping that off the top. It had nothing to do with this attack being that true 100% itself, and we still got the stun 2 off. Even we got a card out of Kevin's hand with the response from the Fierce Wings. Like, you feel pretty good. And then we're even going for the partial block here for Kevin. This was going to be on a 5. As we check a 5, and with the showdown response on block, we had to selectively commit 2 of these foundations on Calvin's side. The thing, though, is that a lot of these cards, aside from like the Science Bros, I don't know what you really care about committing, because things like Ignite are playable while committed. As we've already popped one, we're going to get +1 to our check. I guess things like Supersonic Fight could be a choice, or if we want to stop card draw. Instead, we value this always cool for when we need to go offense next turn.
I love that.
That's assuming, though, Kevin survives as we go to play a Spirit Gun final after taking half, going down to 22 for Kevin's side of the board. Spirit Gun final, we had +1 to our check. We checked a 6 on this. We're in like Flynn.
Yeah, this is very, very limited resources being spent here. And I think as both casters lean into our confidence monitor, trying to just picture, whoa,
I see a Final Smash for sure.
Final Smash is huge here because we have that fire starter in our stage.
Yeah.
I've removed these at 10 cards. I can now stack whatever card I want out of my discard pile and then just draw an additional attack. If I've checked a true 100 or I've got another final, like this is just playing attack after attack after attack and having every game zone possible working to the best of our ability. Our stage, our hand, our card pool, and now with Nick Reagan, our remove from game pile. It's all bending to our will.
We must have missed it, but based off of the stats that this attack just received, if we for sure ripped another 200% off the top, because this thing was now up to 20 damage, and as I watched our stream judge give this a 1,000,000 speed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is going to be
up to 23. I mean, it's lethal.
It is currently lethal, and it is for very fast amounts.
Third attack of the game.
Botan's coaching coming in here as we get the pitches here, drawing
Discard.
from both sides.
Second item box. Wish we could play that. Oh,
you can.
We get to use Terry.
We absolutely can.
Whoa!
The thing about Terry is that once per turn you can go grab a thing, and Kevin Brober,
Holy
most Terry players don't use this enhance so quickly that they don't get to do something like this. But by removing 1 momentum, we now get to build any 2 difficulty asset from our discard pile, which means the unique keyword will kill off the first item box.
Incredible.
To give us a new one to reset this back down to a 5 for 5.
Wowzers. I'm shocked. You're shocked. The person who's the most shocked has got to be Calvin. We put this thing to lethal. We spent so much, but hey, that wasn't the final.
It wasn't the final.
Spirit Gun final.
Okay, all right, that was pretty good. I like that. We are going to go ahead and take the damage, it looks like, on the side of Kevin. And I think as we check a 3 here for Calvin, still having about 5 readied resources and our character card, we're going to go ahead and lose 3 life, give this 5 damage, and here comes the 8. I think this is going to be very important on what we grip. I don't see anything.
Everybody is quiet.
I see a blitz move, and you're not allowed to pick those ones unless.
Yeah.
So I think this one's just going to get the 2/2. Remember, Science Bros got selectively committed. This one's only going to be for 12.
And I think we're at 17 if I caught the
5 damage. I think was what it was for. So yeah,
so.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's currently not for lethal. Also, we're going to throw away this block modifier.
Makes
no
sense.
way we're blocking with this +4 right here.
Yeah, the idea there being, you sometimes
Oh.
teaming. We couldn't see it because of the beautiful pearl on it, but
absolutely.
this is an incredible card to pop off with, and we have enough in the discard pile that we can now change the zone.
Yeah.
If we're afraid of the showdown block, we just
I actually
change
don't think
it
we do,
to.
It's 30, right? Like
It's 20 in the discard pile.
20? Oh, maybe
20.
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did go ahead, or I think we didn't then. Because
We've got
It's still a mid.
So many cards available to us.
Lethal Slash, not a playable one. I think there's a Death from Above. I think that one might be good enough. Oh, we did make it a low. Okay.
We've got that, and I believe that we have a not double Jumbo Fist, Big Fist Bash to discard 2 cards and pick up a mid attack from our card pool, not named Big Fist Bash. So any 4 of these cards are available.
Yeah.
If Kevin has some trick to really hurt this one, we could just discard 2, pick back up our teaming, and play it again.
It's a low, so but
Does it not say printed?
Oh,
Big Fist Bash?
it does not say printed, which is why you can VME and change the zone of your move to pick them up. Yeah,
I assumed it said printed.
Nah,
My
never,
apologies.
never. It's okay though. This is already up to 18 damage as we press a very hard. We're gonna be. Hey, we both draw 1 as we get a Lethal Slash grip for the side of Calvin.
Whoa.
So the question here is that Kevin must block this move as we press the Aaron sidestep for -2 speed. It looks like this was changed to a high as we are now going to block with another copy of Aaron sidestep, having to pick him up because it is just too fast.
There it is, and we reset all the way back to the top. Man, we were right. Kevin played some incredible defense there, but the offense that this Nick Reagan deck can put out, especially when you give it time to build 13 foundations, is unlike pretty much anything else we're going to see in this room today.
I think that was kind of that like nail in the coffin, like you said, and I think Calvin loves the also loves Tarion and has been doing stuff like that as well. So it's one of those things to where I think Calvin understood, like, hey, you're not generating enough momentum quickly enough. I'm allowed to take these 3 turns off with 1 poke being a Death from Above, and we checked the 6 on it, so we had no detriment to playing that card. Maybe rip something off the top, completely whiffed on the Nick Reagan of Enhance of that Death from Above, builds to 13, calculates a turn 4 win, and even with the good defense, like you said, Kevin Broberg, not enough to survive against the heavy onslaught that this all Nick Reagan deck can do.
Yeah, I think everything just like kind of fell in Calvin's lap of what looked to be a detriment ended up being a blessing just because of the play pattern that this Tarion deck wants to play. Most Tarions of I want to accumulate a large stage, find some cheeky momentum from some pokes, and then hit you with an unblockable, absolutely massive, sparkling Helm Blast eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Reagan says that they're all sparkling Helm Blast size on every single attack of the entire game.
Yeah.
So it is a tough one to fight.
It's crazy too that you say that because even characters like Nick Reagan can play Bedazzled Helm Blast, which is an Aratune card, and any one of Calvin's attacks can have Power 5 on it.
Yeah, we'll just rip them off the top. But you know what? That one does look good. I would love to borrow that Helm Blast.
But I can't disagree with you more. I think the power. I think this Nick Reagan deck to me really showcases what the all symbol is kind of capable of. There is this RNG factor, right? We saw remove 8 hit nothing aside from foundations that we could build from our remove from game pile.
Sure.
But like the idea is, it can draw so many cards. It can help you stabilize a stage, and if your opponent is not able to reciprocate the same kind of offense that you can for your 33 life character, you get to kind of take control of the game offensively, and it is completely at the onus of your opponent on how much defense they're allowed to put up. And we did see, like you said, incredible defense on the side of Kevin. Kevin knows how to play good defense. We saw him play Han Zoe for the World Championships this past month.
Yeah.
There's no way that he can't do it. The problem is that we just kind of maybe didn't find the key pieces we were looking for. Our stage didn't get nearly as big as it did against Calvin playing as a 5-hander.
Right.
So, like, how do you kind of reciprocate? And we're on the play again as Calvin broke serve.
Our stage kind of got as big. They just weren't
green ones.
They were green ones, not gray ones. You
Yeah.
can't commit those to pass checks, sadly. We're not Mimic.
That's true.
Not that guy. But it's like a build.
For 3
build
green
4?
ones and a foundation.
Oof. Man, if there was a time for a turn 2 to happen, I mean, this would be it. I think Terry's shields are down. If this was our build, I would not be surprised if we reviewed an attack card from here and then redraw, because the name of the game right the second for Tarion is stabilization. I play an attack card. I check a 3. I commit 100% of the foundations in my stage.
Yeah.
It is a bad spot for me to be in. It looks like
Taking the
that's
same
the play.
advice, though, as we build some good ones, we're going to get a hacker, a Dwuthvar. You're going to help me with that one.
Star Razor.
All right, Star Razor. Star Razor, which will help versus Selective Seal, which I think is going to be very good. And we also built a VME, but the problem is that, like you said, because we only having 2 foundations on our stage,
we've increased our foundation count by 100%
yes,
by playing this,
we
this
have
foundation.
doubled what we have. As we kick things off with a Besiege, checking a Besiege on it.
And wowzers, checking the besiege, we get to draw off of the
Your
York
finish.
finish.
Would you wait? I think you would wait for that.
I don't know. We have a 116 card deck. What's the chances
No,
we're
no,
going to
no.
be able to?
You're right. I think that is
trigger that
actually
again.
what we saw here. But I think the reason I say that is because like if we rip like a final smash off of the top of these 8, you could have stacked something and then selectively drew a card.
Oh, that'd be
So
good.
to me, I think I don't disagree with you.
And I think we did. I think we did find a final smash. But I think with
we
the
also ripped triple supersonic flight
Yeah.
and drew 3 cards off of our Nick Reagan enhance.
wowzers, this is this little 3-diff is the 3-diff that could. This guy's doing a lot.
Yeah, I don't even know what enhance we might have copied,
I
but
think we might have picked the stack. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's just stack of 5 on top, stack of 6 on top. I'm gonna make my check incredibly good here.
did we hit a final? Is that what that one is?
Yeah, I believe
yeah,
it's
you're
this
right.
guy right
okay,
there.
all right. Yeah, I think So whiffing the selective draw, but drawing 3 anyway. We're gonna get the Star Razor enhance, sealing a supersonic flight off the. I guess we're second guessing. I don't know.
We are unsure if the super because we kind of want the I just like it. So it's either we hit the supersonic for minus stats, or we hit the fire starter so that you don't get even more draw power.
If we
But
play another move,
we've drawn so many cards at this point. I'm not sure. Or we waited for the response. What's the response of this guy do?
Oh, that absolutely. After you take, I believe it's 5 or more damage from an unblocked attack. Maybe it's 6. Your opponent must play a non-foundation card or pass, or they may lose 6 life to cancel. And Calvin said, "Yeah, dude, I'll lose the 6."
I'm down. I stacked a 6 for this true 100% smash. I'm obviously going to get my money's out.
Sadly, this is the true counterplay. See, Kevin knew that the true 100% enhances were coming back, and that's why we only built 2 foundations, Tam.
This is the weeniest true 100% of all time.
Yeah. It's going to get 4 speed, of course. It's going to get 2 damage from Calvin's stage, from Kevin's stage, as we also get the 2/2 from Nick Reagan, as we rip our 8 from the top. Another final smash, I believe I'm seeing. Patrick Baby with some other choices as well.
Yeah, just all of the, already, even with Kevin's stage being so low, this is already a 7 damage move, which, for true 100%, not that big of a deal. But if you take it in the context of this started as a printed 3 diff, this kind of, or 3 damage, this kind of got a little big out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it's 9 speed because of the 2 from Nick Reagan, 3 from base, and the 4 from the enhance on the card itself.
Yeah.
Already basically unblockable unless we see this item box enhance come through, which we do.
Toss it back down. I believe we stacked and then drew with our fire starter, so we do have
another attack, probably a Besiege.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah, as I see the top card in our Calvin's
seem
hand.
unblockable.
Yeah, it says your cards are too good. We're going to go for the Tarian Enhance as well. -2 speed, committing this VME that we have no momentum. Partial block here with the Showdown as we get 2 selective committal, 1 face-up card and a face-down. 2 ready foundations left in Calvin's stage, but that still means that this Besiege is very passable.
The question is at this point, do you even bother? I think building out my foundation base and then swinging back, because we've done a lot of pieces and movement on Calvin's side, and then we look back at Kevin's board, and he's got 2 foundations.
Yeah.
2 foundations, no momentum. Like the Bedazzled Hell Blast isn't going to be that threatening at this point. It'll be fast, but it's not going to hit very hard.
Yeah.
So I think we're just ready to, charge back up and then sling some more moves again later.
Yeah,
keeping
both
our
of
2
those
momentum.
decks hit 2 momentum here, which matters for our cards that we can copy that have EX or have powerful, like the Patrick Baby that we see removed. We built 3, one of which being a loot box, which is going to help us have an even bigger stage on our next offensive turn. Radiant Visage, which is actually crazy good against the Tarian deck.
Correct.
That one, that play that Kevin did because he had that one, stacked up momentum for doing the pokes. You have to now essentially sling with 2 moves to get that momentum if you want to do that crazy item box play that we did last time. But kicking things off with a ready shot, pick up our 1 diff that we want. We do have double Imperial or gold tips Imperial in our stage, which means even if this doesn't deal, we're still going to net 2 momentum for the turn, which is kind of like the power and what most of these Tarian decks are kind of doing as a strategy. We're going to go for the block, but just throws it away as we go down to 23 all.
Feels like every move in this Terry deck does 4 damage.
Yeah, that's about right.
Every
Except
single
for
one of
Bedazzled. That one's base 6.
Fair. We haven't played that one though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, actually, the most damage that Calvin's taken in a singular instance is him paying the 6 life from the Star Razor,
which I think we might see again. Right? I think a lot of these foundations, as we pass back into Calvin, gets our review off. A lot of these foundations to me aren't very appealing to seal. That at least Calvin can't just press the button first, right?
Yeah.
First enhance, press a loot box. What do you actually care about sealing? It's maybe supersonic for stats. But the rest of these, I think, just kind of go for it. As we lead things off with our patchwork baby, checking a hot. We got a reader. I'm glad he doesn't know either.
That's
But
our
again,
world champion right
it's
there.
not in the stage, so I don't have to talk about that one.
True.
Radiant Visage coming out immediately as, again, one of those prime targets that you probably would have sealed as the Star Razor.
Yeah, we're just not. I don't think we're allowed to let Terry and Bill do that double item box play
Yeah.
again on this turn if we're trying to make some movement happen on our life totals. But this card is the definition of disruption in this Terrian deck of the stun 2 and then an EX2 power or EX3 powerful 3 and then tacking on whatever we want to. A perfect opener, a perfect finisher, a perfect card for Nick Reagan.
Yeah. We got a double Fierce Wing response on the side of Kevin.
Wowzers.
Which makes a lot more sense now of like the turn felt, or I think it was just the one. Sorry, I thought it was 2. I think it's just the one. But we picked up a hacker. Well, we got some good choices this time.
Yeah, all of these are good. I mean, Death from Above. I think the not double jumbo fist, big fist
Big
bash.
Probably not the one here.
Yeah.
But we also have the something interrogation, which is either we don't have to make a check, we can discard a card from our hand for the next attack,
Right.
or we're a 5-hander, we can draw a
We
card.
draw a card.
Yeah, so either of those are good, but I think Death from Above is usually the pick here. Whether it's the draw 2 or even extra stats on the damage, I think you typically are going for.
It just depends on how badly we want this item box to turn sideways.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But regardless, it's going to get big stats.
Look at like 9 damage currently, and I'm sure there's plenty more buttons that Calvin's allowed to press here. As Kevin, how are you feeling about your defensive turn? I mean, we've got things like Cabal's Ruin, we've got the item box, we've got the Star Razor. It looks like we are sealing with the Star Razor, and we've got minus speed on a lot of stuff as well. Man, what are the chances Kevin makes it out of this turn?
I actually think it still might be pretty low. I think it's at the complete onus of what is in Calvin's hand attack-wise. But remember, we still had a Besiege that we picked up from last turn.
We
so
know
like,
that's there.
This is just the beginning of what's coming. And that Besiege could end up copying something like a true 100% and getting massive. And so, like, Kevin has to sit here and, like, as we have already pressed the item box enhance here,
yeah.
like you don't have it for that. So you don't have a +3 block mod that you can also pass with all the stats that the Besiege gains. It's just looking grimmer and grimmer. But it looks like with things getting reset down, it was only for 1, which feels pretty good against, resetting. As we go into an interrogation, and the fact that we're playing it as an attack, we get all of the buttons on it, right? We get the enhanced draw card. We get the enhanced. We can discard a card from our hand to pass a check. As we also rip things like a Spirit Gun Final off the top. I think there's a multiple bite.
It is a multiple bite.
Yeah.
Another draw card.
Yeah.
So like this card says draw 2 and stack for my next check. This Besiege is, if it wasn't unpassable before,
it's already guaranteed.
It's already
yeah.
guaranteed.
And we're feeding those cards in our hand to pay for its cost, right?
Yes.
Discarding a card from our hand. So you asked me, do I think Kevin can survive this turn? I think we did great on using good defense for the Patrick baby. I think we might have done too much though.
Yeah.
Now this one is pretty low on stats, as we can see that we're just going to we're going to turn a Gold Tips Imperial sideways for -1 speed here.
-1 from that, -1 from the Cabals. It looks like Aaron's sidestep maybe for -2, fully blocked
Cabal
redraw.
block here, but we checked a 3.
I
Which
think that
means
we are
we're gonna
okay.
Need, oh, it does still pass? Okay.
Yeah, -2, -1, -1. I think that we're good. But a Lethal Slash coming in, and hey, this one, a premier player in the World Championship. Kevin's gotta be sick and tired of sitting across from Lethal Slashes.
We might have whiffed. I think we did. As Calvin picks them up, I think all of those had blitzes on them.
Interesting.
So this one does still say blitz draw 1, and it's going to remove itself from the card pool after it resolves. But like you said, with the interrogation, we pitched a card from our hand. I think we used our ignite that we had in our stage. So it was on a 6. It checked to 6 because we pitched a 5 from our hand. Even with the full block on the Cabal.
Another draw card, but this one checking a World's Weakest Hunter. Speaking of draw cards at Nick Reagan, holy cow, what a good one.
It's another good one to play, not a good one to grab off the top. But yeah, multiple bites for the free draw, and then we're gonna have another remove 6 to see what happens. I mean, that's the thing is, you keep asking, is this the turn that we live? And I don't know. This whole turn and this whole character is based off of the top 8 cards that we grab. So I just don't know the answer.
Yeah, Nick Reagan, the player, loves the RNG elements of his character, and I think it really is represented here incredibly well. But man,
wow, a lot of choices.
Found the big fist bash. We've got plenty of cards in our hand. We could discard 2, redraw this Patchwork Baby.
That's what
And
it
it looks
is.
like that's our play here. Adding this one back up to our hand, ignoring our progressive difficulty now, or minusing our progressive difficulty as the card has left the card pool.
Yeah.
And we're just going to slam it. And even if we check a 3, I still think it passes.
It does no matter what. And remember, we still have this 2 momentum that we banked from the first turn of the game. Or, sorry, turn 2 of the game. So Patchwork Baby having powerful on it means that you used all those resources on the first Patchwork Baby. The second one is going to be just as scary, if not more scary, as we maybe potentially rip things like True 100% or Spear Gun Finals off the top to get even more stats.
Yeah, we are begging here for a second item box to find its way into our discard pile.
But we do have a momentum because of the Hacker Extraordinary Response.
Correct.
So we still have that play. I think that's exactly what Calvin is also thinking about. But not seeing an item box, at least from me on the scan, means we have to go for a block here with a strategic meeting. Checking a 4.
Oof. Not what you want to see right now.
Yeah, I think
but
we're going to tap our last 2 resources, but saves ourselves 8 life, which feels pretty good. High 6, 7.
checks the 6. Wowzers. Everything is coming up Calvin here. But the question is what do we rip off the top, and is it going to be enough for 16? Because I think the stats on this one by itself aren't it. I think I saw a true 100.
I see a Death from Above for sure. World's Weakest don't matter. If there's a 200%, maybe, but even the things like the Death from Above can give a bunch of damage with that bottom enhance.
Correct.
Sorry,
yeah.
top enhance. To remove another attack from our discard pile to give damage equal to the removed attack's damage. Which means you can then spend the momentum instead for EX, depending on how much life we have to get through. 16 seems pretty easy with a card like Patchwork Baby. Yeah, as we spend it.
Yeah, I think it was the Death from Above plus 6 damage on a move. It's either that or the plus damage from Patrick's own ability of a bunch of keywords.
Yeah. And yeah, we're going to go 1 EX, 1 powerful here. We're going to commit a VME for -2 speed. We're going to give it more speed. We show our hand.
There
Makes a check anyways. I checked a 3, and that's going to be a 2-0 for Calvin Harrigal on Nick Reagan under the all symbol.
Yeah, I am. Would not be surprised to see more Nick Reagan's matches going that way. That felt decisive from one half of the board, and even then, Tyrion put up one heck of a fight.
Yeah,
there were a lot of things happening in that match.
That was even through misfortunes, right? Remember, we built one foundation into Kevin's second turn to build one more foundation, and like the assets are so strong in their own abilities that it feels like there's good enough defense even without the foundations on your board. But when it comes to passing checks, needing to continuously play cards, and when you fill up your card pool for progressive, and the amount of stats that Nick Reagan is pushing out, it's just not enough. Through the stun 2s, through the resets, it's just not enough sometimes to get there. I think I said it before. I think I've told you. I think Nick Reagan's one of the best turn 3 decks in the entire game, and that was exactly what we saw. That was a turn 3 turn, and then game 1 we saw the immaculate turn 4 kill from that seemed almost impossible to not kill somebody with. So I can't agree with you more. I think we're going to see more of stuff like that. And I think the people that were trying to do this on turn 2 with Nick Reagan are doing it maybe a little too ambitiously. But what we just saw from Calvin, I think, is what we're going to see a lot of these competitive Nick Reagan decks do.
I fully agree. And we have so much more coming from the competition today. It's going to be exciting. There's so much offense, so much defense, and you're not going to want to miss any of it. We will be right back with the next round. Don't go anywhere.